Thank you for your time.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's right.
Thanks.
Thank you. What I got, but I just thought I'd better check. Okay, ready to go.
It's still June the 11th, and now it's 9:12. Let's call a meeting to order for the Excise, Woods County Excise Board. Joe?
Here.
Chris?
Here.
Bob? Here. We have a quorum.
And the next one, I got have an error, so I can either put it on next time, because it says 2019, and it should have been 2020.
Can we not correct that here?
I'm okay with, are you okay with that? Okay,
I can make, I move we correct the date on the
Okay.
minutes.
all right.
Yeah,
It's done.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We love you,
That's the appropriate.
Yes, and all of these I haven't, just didn't get all of them. Total numbers on over to the other side, but it ain't just going the same ones that others have.
Chad. All right.
Thank you.
Highway fund now, and
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, give me that back. What is it? Oh, yeah. Hey, this is
I
just,
need to sign that over down there.
no, why is that on there? Oh, I know why, it's for our auditors.
So I don't-
You don't sign it, you just sign this top one,
Okay.
sorry.
It's okay, I just didn't know. I thought, well, that's not something I ever see.
Right.
On that highway fund, it may start climbing back a little, there's more transportation going on, but man. It's got worrisome for the commissioners. And the rock quarry, oh, Martin area doesn't close it. She loads like one truck a week.
Come on.
Coming your way, Joe.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
You got it?
So you gotta have this abstract, whatever that is,
That's our numbers,
and you gotta have that in Oklahoma City on June the 15th, no matter what.
no matter what.
We're almost
And
there.
usually every year,
Okay.
depending on where the 15th falls in the month, because it's gotta go to the State Board
Well,
of
it might be a
Equalization.
minute.
So
Two
Like,
more
I'm
coming
sorry.
to you, Joe.
this year, the date I had to have it there was today, the 11th, because the 15th falls, I think it's Monday. So they had to have it that date for their meeting, so.
And even, so the appeal process, how does that affect what you,
Well, we used to be able to get it done, but then when they gave them the option, the laws passed where they get 3 different chances at like a formal protest date, like what we did today. If they can't make the one date, then it has to be, another date has to be set up at least 10 days apart. And then if they can't do that date, then another date. So that's what drags it out. You've got a 30-day time period in there.
why did they, obviously the oil company took the legislature with a bunch of lobbying and got that changed. What was the reason they did that?
Thank you, sir.
I'm guessing probably because if they have 2 different counties, the same time, the same date, they couldn't be in both places.
No, we're not gonna get that changed.
So that would be my,
It's not gonna
my
happen.
guess, so.
So we get tolerated.
Okay.
Annual,
And, who did?
I move we
Okay.
approve the appropriation.
Thank you.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What do I do here? So what do we do with
So
this?
is
Approve
it-
Do we need
is
to
it-
approve this deal?
It's just
Just
information.
Okay.
Mhm. Are you ready for me?
Mhm.
Okay. What I turned in yesterday was the abstract, and with the numbers that we have so far, public service hasn't been added into it, but without public service changing, this paper that I just give you, shows the amounts on personal property. The assessed values are down $6,857,950, and on real estate property, our values are up $1,276,030 for this year so far. And total, we're down $5,581,920 compared to last year. But public service will come in, so I don't know if it'll change it, if it'll go up, if it'll go down. I have no idea what's gonna happen this year with public service, so. You want me to go on and jump into the homestead part of it? That's the next thing on the list, okay. Homesteads, this year we had 1641, we were down 44 compared to last year. And for double homesteads, we have 58 in the county, and that's down 4 from last year. So it's, the double homesteads are kind of consistent number-wise, but
What is a double homestead?
if a person owns if they qualify for a homestead, so they have to own their home and they have to live there, they can apply for a homestead. If they make under $20,000 total gross money, wages a year income, then they can apply for a double homestead. So it would give them an extra,
Okay.
and a little bit of extra.
So the cutoff is 20 grand.
If they make under that, they can apply and get an extra little bit of a reduction there, so.
Okay.
That pretty much sums it up. We'll know more in the July, August probably, so.
So we do need a motion to approve that
So
home.
moved.
Yeah.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Alrighty. Now, we're ready for the estimate.
Estimate of needs. Yes, ma'am. Do I need to, I know that, do I need to read this out, like, your estimate of needs? Am I supposed to be over here reading all of 11, discussion possible action regarding West County?
Mhm.
Okay, estimate of needs for year 2021.
Yes.
Okay, number
And
11.
I know Greg is here, Renee is here, so we can get some of you. Greg. You're on.
Okay.
What's up, chief?
It's a great day.
You're right.
Where's the 6-foot spot here? I just wanted to drop by, and you obviously noticed in our estimate of needs that we were up $27,000, which was a very significant increase, and I wanted to be able to explain that to you. So, you know, this story starts back from 2010 to 2014. OSU Extension's budget was decreased from our state funding from $30 million down to 24. And so in 2017, our administration, we had a carryover at that time, and they said, we're going to be able to make it 4 more years with our carryover. And at the end of that 4 years, then things have got to change. And so this is the end of the 4 years. What they did, in 2018, they announced that FY21 budget, that OSU Extension would supply one extension educator and one administrative assistant, one secretary per county. So every county gets one. And anything above that is on the county. And so that was kind of a shock back in there, and we kind of had to adjust and think through and do things, but it did give us 2 years. Well, Woods County was fortunate within that 2-year time frame. The FCS educator over in Alfalfa County retired, and so Tommy Puffenbarger and I, the director over there, got together and said, let's develop a share relationship here to where when this increase comes, we won't have to pay the full, it's $80,000 a year. And that's just the expense that OSU puts on an educator. Obviously, that's not what we make, but that's a separate issue. But that's the expense that they put to add an educator to the county. So within the county budget, that's what we were working with. So we needed, so that allowed, so we developed a share relationship, 60% Woods County and 40% Alfalfa County. So Susan Holliday, our FCS specialist, roughly spends 3 days a week here and 2 days a week there. And it's working very well. You have to have two things to make this work. One is a local county that you're close to, and the second thing you need is a willing staff member. And Susan Holliday, I don't know if all of you have got to meet Susan, but she does a great job, and I want you to be aware that she's gone above and beyond. You know, what you really need to understand, I guess, is that when you take on a second county, you kind of double your workload. You know, you do 2 county fairs, she puts on 2 OHCE annual meetings, she does 2 4-H events for dress review and food showdown. Lots of those are nights, lots of those are weekends, but Susan has done that with a cheerful heart and does a great job and is serving both counties very well. And I would contend that we really haven't seen a drop-off in our OHCE activities and types of things that to where the Woods County people probably haven't even maybe noticed unless they were plugged in to know that we're sharing Susan with another county. You know, technology helps. When someone calls for Susan, we can forward that to her cell, and so life is easier that way too. So anyway, long story short, we were able to share Susan, and instead of that full expense, we were able to only have to pay 60% of that, which is still a significant amount of money. And we reduced, I rearranged the budget a little bit. Shelley can tell you how much I turn back every year. I'm not sure exactly on the numbers, but I would want you to know that money is going to be used now. One of the disadvantages is that this increase also means that this money is shipped to Stillwater. You know, usually we just ship enough money for our part-time employee to Stillwater, but this time with this new increase, a lot of that money will go to Stillwater. So anyway, I've been communicating with the county commissioners. I've been communicating with Shelley on, you know, I've known for a while this increase was coming, and you know, I know our money comes out of the sales tax portion of it, but obviously by spending more of it, you've got less of it to send other places. And so I apologize for the timing. It's a terrible time for this to happen, but the timing on this was set 3 years ago, obviously before we knew any of this issues that we were having now was going to take place. So we've got some flexibility. I've put enough in the budget that if Alfalfa County has budget issues and has to go from 40% down to 25%, which is a slight possibility, but Tommy thinks it's okay. But either way, if that happens, we can just reduce our part-time help, and we can still keep Susan 75-25 and keep her fully employed. So that's kind of my priority here, and wanting to do that. I'll inform you of one other thing. Some people were worried about funding extension because obviously this is a statewide issue with every county facing this. And they went to the state legislature and they were actually able to appropriate some money, just under $2 million. And it's a long story, but That money actually went to the State Department of Agriculture, and they're going to give it to counties. And so some of my increase will be reduced by a payment from that fund. Now, I can't tell you today whether it's 8,000 or maybe up to 15 or 20,000 of that increase will actually be reduced. I guess I can't say that it's not zero either, but I feel comfortable that some of that money will come back to the county because it's there. House and the Senate both passed it, and so some of this increase will not be on us totally. We'll get some of it back. So anyway, long story to tell you that we are asking for an increase in our budget this year. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Hey, man, I just want to say that's a very effective use of Susan, and not to hear you give her accolades, she clearly acts with a servant's heart. So, somebody's developed that, or you just got a gift working for you?
We got a gym. And I wish I could take credit, but she applied and we hired her, and it's always fun. I guess that's the first person I've ever hired, so I guess I feel like a genius. But no, I'm one for one, but no, we're very proud of Susan. She does yeoman's work, and she handles much of the 4-H stuff here in Woods County. You know, when I'm off doing ag stuff, and just does great. So anyway, thanks for that comment.
Not your supervisor giving accolades to somebody that reports to that.
We have an exceptional OSU extension staff here. Greg is, I mean, come on. There's no one in the state better. Now, I assume the county commissioners are okay with this? I move we motion, I move we approve.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you for your support.
Good job.
Very much.
Thank you, Greg.
You bet.
I call him on the weekends, I call him at night, he calls me back. If he doesn't know the answer, he gets the answer. It's nuts, I don't know how we get somebody so fantastic here. And he knows everything, my gosh. He came here as a cattle extension specialist for Northwest area for, how many, 20 years?
Yeah, 28.
And so now all of a sudden got all these agronomy questions. He goes to school, learns it. And he's always available, comes out. It's just, we don't know how, farmers just don't know how lucky we are.
Lucky here.
And that's honest to God's truth.
I've enjoyed my 8 years. It's been a lot of fun. I did have to go back to school on a few things and learn how to get pine tree diseases figured out.
Well, then, where do you see yourself? Where's the end for you? 5 years, 10 years?
I have 3 to 5 years left. Yes.
Do you have any say-so? Are you working? Do you have anybody on the bench that you're training and developing?
No, it really doesn't work that way. I hate to. Yeah. No, it'll be just whoever applies. And so, but I'll say things like that you just did that show support for the extension staff and increasing our funding. That's the kind of counties that good educators look to come to. And that's why I came here, is because I knew that the county supported the extension office. I've had friends in this office. I know how much Woods County appreciates good extension work. So you have a reputation, and it's a good one. And so I think that will draw a good candidate. Can't guarantee it, but there's a little bit of the luck of the draw, and when it's open and who's available and things like that. But being a positive county is a big part of it. You bet.
Good. Nice to hear.
Okay, I have a question here.
Oh, yes.
On these things.
Thank you.
Okay. Not you.
Oh, me. Okay.
Thank you for
Okay,
that.
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And we have to do them separate.
Yeah, well, that's not my
Oh,
question.
okay,
Right, we have to have a question, but do we have to go through detail on all of them? Because it's in the paper and it's in.
And
because
that's
we're
up to you
obviously-
guys.
because
That's up to
Because
you
we're
guys.
obviously going to approve all these, right? These all, it's gone through the county commission, it's gone through you, and they've approved all these budgets, and there's no argument, we're not going to not approve any of these, correct? Yeah, and I don't see, I'm a cut the chase guy.
It'd be hard to make an argument against what you just said.
So, I'm gonna go down through here, and I'm gonna move that we approve each one individually, and then, as far as I'm concerned, that's all we need to do. That's our job. We've looked at it, we've we've looked at them, we've looked at the recommendations from the commissioners and for the budget people, all these, we went to the budget maker that looked at the budgets. We've approved those budgets already earlier, and I don't see any point wasting a lot of time going through all that again, because we've already done it once.
Let me just thumb through here and see if there's anything that stands out big
Okay,
time.
I
year
looked
over
at it, I
year.
didn't see any, but that doesn't mean anything to me.
Everybody's asking for 80%.
Yes,
Yeah, they all did that this year, right?
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
for the county part of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm inclined to agree with you, Joe.
I move to approve Woods County Health Department.
I'll second.
All in
All right.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We gotta sign that.
I move we approve Alvin Independent School District number 1.
What about, okay, so did you do Woods County already?
Yeah, we all said aye.
Okay. Okay. Now.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move
Okay.
to approve Winoka.
Joe, coming to you.
Move to approve Winoka.
Okay, so what's the next
I'll
one?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You want to do Freedom?
I move that we approve Freedom.
Aye.
You doing the second, Joe?
Say aye.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move that we approve Northwest Tech Center.
Second.
All
I'll
in favor?
second. Oh, aye.
Okay, so there's 4 sheets
Oh, I
there.
mean,
2 here.
That's good.
you facilitate?
That's good help if you need help there.
You did
Here,
Freedom?
we'll start signing those down that way, how's that? So that got the schools, all right?
So I move that we approve the town of Freedom.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move that we approve the town of Tacoma.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How you like that, ladies?
Great.
Well, I still see point in, gee, with the Christmas, the way this thing is made out in the law, you know, it's certainly careful.
Mixed up.
All right. I mean, we actually have all of them
There's
this
like
year.
3, I think, there. Yes,
I mean,
everything
That's
is here.
scary.
That's scary, I mean, you know, really.
Oh, you didn't sign that, so there's that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and acknowledge to the board the transfer of appropriations from E911 personnel services to their part-time in the amount of $5,000, and that's just to finish out their year.
Already signed it.
They've got some, you're supposed to sign down here,
Where?
in the excise board. Where'd you sign?
Sorry.
And then, okay, the other one is I need action on it.
Go.
If I can find the right paperwork here. Yes. So the next one is repayment of temporary transfer of funds in the amount of $50,000. And this was that REAP grant that we did earlier for the Woods County soil conservation. And they got them a bubble cap, you know, to take, they're gonna go and get rid of cedars and stuff like that and be able to make some fire prevention.
Okay.
Did that go,
Anyway,
so which district did that go to?
well, went to the actual Woods County conservation soil,
Okay.
so that's its own district.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's located in Freedom. But they got a REAP grant, so what we had to do is we transferred money in there so that they could get this purchased, and then we got reimbursed from OEDA, and so now we have to transfer the money back into our fund, so that we,
Need a motion?
yeah.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And then the last one is, safety, highway safety. We needed to move money from part-time into personnel services also to finish out the school year. So,
That's just an acknowledgement, right?
yeah.
One more.
Ha!
Sure everything's signed, and then we've got to get those papers signed from our committee.
Oh, from your other meeting. I gave it to you.
Oh, you did?
You got them somewhere.
Lot of paperwork to keep
Yeah,
up with.
we're run on trees.
Oh, and then here's your letter from the election board. I didn't have them when you didn't bring them when you first came in.
Yeah, I did.
Do I need to sign this?
Oh, here, maybe this is it. No,
Yeah.
this is what I brought in.
What's this
There,
for?
it's with this right here.
Ha!
Oh. We already approved that, didn't we?
What is that?
Election board.
Oh, that's, yes, but that's her letter that she always.
Yeah,
does.
she usually mails that to me, she didn't this time.
Okay, so there's quite a few
Same
copies
postage.
here.
She been the only one, I mean, I can get that done.
Names in there, but we're just,
And I know
Not
that.
sure.
I'll write it in there. Joe
Yeah,
just said
not
that we were gonna accept
She
this
sits
as
behind me in church.
the
Really?
assessor values.
She's a sweetheart, hard worker, does a good job. They're good people.
We've got a bunch of people like that over in the
Yeah.
county government.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That's a compliment.
Thank you.
It's a transfer.
Isn't this exciting, Marion?
Did you catch her nodding off? Is that what you said?
But she's got to go make sense of it to write a story.
That's right.
You gave her back your pen.
She can't have her pick back, why not use another one up, man? Part of my salary.
Okay, these can get signed. You just signed them, but nobody else. Okay.
Well, how about that thing for Renetta, did we sign
That's,
that?
he's sending it right now.
Sign two.
Oh, already signed, no? Oh, but he signed.
I'll sign it, yeah.
Okay.
There's three of them, I think, there too. I gotta make sure I got everything back. Okay, so that's my District 1.
Now this is the last one.
Six,
Hey, we'll see.
District.
We'll see, yeah.
OTEC.
So you got one more.
One more.
And I should have,
Light again.
This got different spots on it.
where's my county
Don't
one?
scare me. I thought I printed the wrong one.
No, it's just different. It says member. I thought it's interesting when it came in today. I had to sign my name away and had to take my temperature and then do it before. Last Excise board, there I walked in. Oh, you did Excise board, okay, see you. This morning, you sign your name and all that?
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah, now we gotta sign out.
in and out. You gotta sign
I
out.
gotta
too.
sign out too?
I think I missed
And they said, talk to the judge.
What are you missing?
They don't want anybody sleeping in the courthouse
There's
tonight.
no COVID in the Woods County.
They're talking about.
Well, yeah, there was. There was one at the college, a football player, they
Okay,
sent
you
him
got
home.
anything else that's got signatures?
One of the football players tested positive.
Missing
Well, you can't tell those
counties
youth
and the
people
vote, and the.
not to get in the
health
party.
department
You know, I'm sorry, they're indestructible, you
That
know.
we just signed.
You're missing what?
We're missing the county. Ah, there it is. There's one. Okay, got it.
Good to go?
Whew.
Got 'em?
Yes. Found them. That was worrying me. I have to have those.
So you got everything?
I think so.
So this is, this one of those two paycheck jobs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Bob.
Yes, it is.
Well, I just
Appreciate
wanted,
that.
I think it was you.
Yeah.
What do you do?
And I think, if I haven't thanked you for the third time, I know I caught you in
Thank you.
Walmart one time.
Appreciate it,
Have you
Chris.
guys, have you adjourned?
No,
Move we adjourn.
I thought we did.
I'll second that.
Remember.
All in favor?